So one of the biggest myths for underwater homeowners in California is that in order to sell your property, you're going to have 30 or 60 or 90 day month late payments before the bank will start a short sale with you. That to me is a horrendous piece of advice. You can do short sales while you're current. Not every time, but it's been done. We did them in the past. Now, our foreclosure timeline and other California anti-deficiency laws are even stronger. So the amount of time you can stay in the property before the bank can get it back more than doubles, which is just crazy when you think about it. But this opens up a massive opportunity for you to do a loan workout while you're current. And therefore, you're not going to suffer 30 or 60, 90 days late. And if, after we've reviewed your loans, I'll be able to say, look, my client's well advised. So no matter what path she takes here, after foreclosure, after a short sale, she's not going to owe any taxes and she's not going to owe the bank any money. So what this negotiation all about for my client is credit. And you'll note, since she doesn't even have 30, 60, or 90 day lates, you're not going to have to clean that up either. It's really the final remark on her credit. This one remark, this one thing that's stopping your client from getting this property back now. And it's something you can easily remedy. It's particularly excellent when it's a deed in lieu and not a short sale. In a short sale, they kind of know what the contract price is, and that price is usually lower than the actual value of the property because it's a short sale. So you've got the contract price, and then you take away realtor fees and closing costs, and it's kind of obviously short. I mean, that's why you're upside down. But when it's a deed in lieu, we don't really know the exact price yet. And my experience last month with Chase is they don't really even want to know the exact price, right? What I've expressed to them in our package is that because of the time value of money, because of them not being able to get the property back for a year because my client's well advised, because they're never going to be able to collect the deficiency, because my client's not even worried about taxes, this is a great deal for them. We're just saying, don't harm my client's credit. And in exchange, you're going to get this property back. And instead of losing 10% of value at the end of a long foreclosure cycle, and maybe if I have a renter in there, you'll get the property back now. Basically, that's it. What you're getting today is worth so much more, maybe 10, maybe 15% more than what your client will get back a year from now. You should do this deal. So when you can express that to the bank with someone who has knowledge and understands, like they have to have power. This doesn't work on the normal servicer that you're dealing with in a short sale. You have to get escalated. I loved it when they escalated me to the legal department, or some banks called it the office next to the president's office or the vice president's office, or last month, it was just a person with 15 years experience picking up instead of the normal customer relationship manager. When you get there and you get to talk about this and they sense your credibility and you can address, the bank's always fearful that you're trying to rip them off. So you can address those concerns with them. And as an attorney, like one of the great things I like to say, like if the bank's in Tennessee, I'm like, I understand one of the reasons you're concerned about a deed in lieu is because you want marketable title. I said, as an attorney, I'll work with the title company to make sure you get the same title or better than a foreclosure title. Like that's one of the things, like when we're having a conversation, we get to say, because we're attorneys and we have experience, so we're credible. You could probably do the same thing yourself, but I suggest you consider working with us. So if you'd like to do a deed in lieu or attempt to do a deed in lieu, because they're definitely not guaranteed, just like a short sale is not guaranteed. But if you're considering it, go to underwaterrealestate.com/options. And there I'll ask you a series of questions about when you took out the loans, whether you moved into the property, whether you've refinanced the loans, and just a couple other questions. I think there's like 8 to 10 questions there. What options, what workouts are you most interested in? Deed in lieu, short sale, strategic default. And then I'll review the file. And I should have enough information there to do a quick Loom video about what your options are. If you work with us, what that would look like, what I would expect the results to be even. And that's a bit of a guess because every bank's different. Like I said, I feel much better when we get escalated. But that's where we'd start. And so for some people, the best start might be deed in lieu while listing the property. For other people, it might be deed in lieu and not doing the short sale or beginning it for 9 or 10 months. I mean, that's what we talk about. But if what I talked to you about in the video is interesting to you, because I've said this is how our program works and this is what I would advise. And if you agree, then we'll have a consult and maybe we'll work together. So for more information, underwaterrealestate.com/options. Now my compliance with California legal advertising. My name is John McConnon. I'm a real estate attorney and a broker in California, licensed. And my main office is in San Diego, but I can do deed in lieu for anybody all over the state. And we have realtors in our network who we can refer out to, so I could, as an attorney and a broker, work with your realtor if it turns into a short sale or we're listing a home anywhere. And in fact, being that I'm a member of the CRMLS, I can list a home and it'll show up in the network They tell me at 95% of the state. So, sometimes we wouldn't even need to engage a realtor in the beginning, and we can have your property currently listed and starting the deed in lieu while you're current. That's one of our favorite options. So, like I said, to find out more, go there. What else do I need for compliance? I think that's really about it. John McConnon, underwaterrealestate.com/options, or click the link. Thanks. Talk to you later.